welcome back to Learn Web. So in the previous video we have seen the HTML list. Now today we will going to cover up the topics like internal CSS and external CSS. So basically internal CSS means how to define the CSS in the one part of the HTML file, and external CSS means the whole CSS part in one externally defined file which have .css extension. But first we have to understand some terminologies which will be used in this, like what is ID and class. So ID is just a name of the tag, like the variable name used in the programming language for a particular tag. Now what is the syntax of the ID? So syntax of defining ID is also have the similar syntax like the syntax in the other properties. So write ID within the tag, after space, then equal, thereafter within the double quotes the name of the ID, means the name whatever you want to give to the ID of that tag. Now we will look for class. So class is just similar to ID, means its syntax, its defining part, and almost its meaning, that it is also used to change the property of the tag with the help of class name. But there is a big difference. The difference is that ID is used when we have to change the properties of particular tag, while class is used when we have to change some properties of different tag by just giving them same class name and then changing the properties by using the class name. Now friends, we can start our topic internal CSS. So what is the syntax of internal CSS? The internal CSS is defined in head tag before body tag within the style tag. The style tag have both the starting and ending tag. So in the middle we define the CSS part. Then to define CSS part we write first selector. Now selector may be your ID or class or just simply tag itself. If the selector is ID, then before ID we write hash and then the ID name, and if it is a class then we write dot before the class name, and if the selector is tag itself then we write tag name, that is body or h1. Now after the selector we write middle brackets, then we define the properties, like if I want to change the color of heading or any tag, then I just write color, then colon, then the color you want to give in the double quotes like black, blue, then this semicolon, and similarly more properties will be defined in the new line, and after defining the property we have to write semicolon. So defining properties in internal CSS is almost similar like inline CSS, but just a difference that here we need not to define the style tag before the property, as it is already defined once. Now we see the external CSS. So in the external CSS we have to specify the CSS code into a CSS extension file and then link this CSS file to the HTML file. So to use external CSS, then just cut the code written between the style tag in the internal CSS and paste it into .css file and remove the style tag as it is no more needed. Now to link this file we use link tag. It is a void element. So after writing the tag we write rel after the tag name followed by a space, then equal, thereafter within the double quotes style sheet, then leave space, then write the type of the file, means text/css, then define its h-reference, means it's the file name. So in this way you can link the external CSS file with the HTML file, and the link tag will be discussed later after some basics. So for now just keep this syntax, remember, and up to now we have seen its theoretical part. Now we will see its implementation. So for this I'm opening my Sublime Text tree. I opened it. Now you can see there is only one file open, that is index.html, and I have already given its title name, that is index. Now let's give the heading to this HTML page, and that is h1 heading. Heading. Now I save it and refresh our page. So this is our basic HTML page with only h1 heading. Now let's change some properties in this heading with the internal CSS. So for this I use style tag. So I write style tag. So after the style tag I write the selector, means selector could be your ID or class or just tag name itself. That is body, h1 heading. So let's first start with ID. But for this, first of all, I have to give ID to the h1 heading. So I give ID equals to heading 1. As I already told you that we use hash before the ID name. So first of all, I write hash, then ID name means heading 1, then middle brackets, and then we define the property inside it. I want to change its font size, so I write font size. So font size equals to 100 pixel, then semicolon. Now I save it and refresh it again. Now you can see that the font size of our heading is changed as we change the font size using inline CSS. Now let's suppose I want to give same changes to two headings. Then first of all I write h2 heading. Let's give the heading in capital, so I write heading, then I'm saving it. Now I refresh it again. Now you can see by default the h2 heading is smaller than the h1 heading. Now let's give ID to the h2 heading. ID equals to heading 2. I change the property using internal CSS, so I write hash heading 2, then middle brackets, and then I write font size, then equals to 200 pixel, then semicolon. Now I save it. Now I refresh it again. Now you can see that h2 heading is bigger than the h1 heading. Now if I want to give same font size to both the headings, so for this I use class. So I give first of all class name to h1 heading, so I write class equals to heading, then the same class name to the h2 heading. So friend, I have told you that if we use class selector, then we use dot before the class name. So first I write dot, then class name means heading, then the middle brackets, and thereafter font size. I want to give 200 pixel, then semicolon. Now I save this file. Now I refresh it. Now you can see both heading have the same font size. So in this way we can use class selector. Now if I want to change the properties of the heading by using tag itself, so I write only tag name instead of dot and heading. So I write h1 and I save it. I refresh it again. Now you can see only the changes are made to h1 heading. So in this way we can change our properties using internal CSS. So how we can use external CSS? So for this we just simply create a new file with an extension of .css. I just name it with index.css. Now what I do that my code that is in style tag, I just cut it and paste it in the .css extension file, and I remove style tag as it is no more needed. Now I just save this file. Now I just paste this code into our CSS file and save this. Now friends, I just made external CSS file but I don't link it to the HTML file. So let's see its effect. Once more refresh it and now see that our heading have no font size change. So basically we have to link our file. So for this we use link tag and we just have to write link and the automatically all code will come appear, and then we just provide h-reference. So h-reference is basically name, so I just write index.css. Now I save it and once more refresh it. Now you can see the changes that were made using internal CSS will also similar while using the external CSS. So in this way we use external CSS. So guys, that's all for this video, and if you have any doubt then feel free to ask in the comment section. And I hope you like this video, and if you like this video then share it, like it and subscribe to our channel Learn Web. Thank you.